Welcome to the Butler Beat. I'm Kaylee Ricks.
And I'm Evie Schultz. The Butler men's basketball team season is over. It happened on Saturday with a 67-64 overtime loss against Notre Dame in the second round of the NCAA tournament. First-year head coach Chris Holtman says in hopes to build on this year's success, it's time to get down to business on the recruiting front.
Recruiting is at the forefront. We need to make some headway there, and I think all the dynamics that happened in these last 4, 5, 6, 7 months, I'm not saying we have ground to catch up, but it, we've got some work to do in that area.
Holtman took over after Brandon Miller took a medical leave of absence right before the start of the season. Holtman said the Bulldogs will be looking to add a few more players to this year's recruiting class.
The Butler men's basketball team is back from Pittsburgh after their loss this weekend. A large number of Butler students were out in full force to cheer on their Bulldogs in the NCAA tournament from campus last week. Austin Monteith has the story.
Butler students gathered at watch parties around campus to view Butler's NCAA tournament games last week. On Thursday afternoon, students filled a lecture hall in Jordan Hall to witness the Bulldogs defeat the Texas Longhorns. Attendees came for the camaraderie of watching the game with fellow students, as well as the free Chick-fil-A and Insomnia cookies.
Butler spirit definitely was alive here with the student crowd. I was going to go over to a friend's room and decided to come here. Free food was definitely a big pull also.
After the Bulldogs advanced to the round of 32, students reassembled in the Riley Room Saturday night, where the crowd saw Butler take on Notre Dame. For those who couldn't make the trip to Pittsburgh, the atmosphere provided a close alternative.
I knew I was going to watch the game regardless, and I thought that the campus community would be a really fun place to share this event with because there would be so many people here. I thought it would be a little bit more fun than just staying in my room and watching the game.
Fans were kept on pins and needles for most of the second half as the game went to overtime, tied at 55. While the Fighting Irish ultimately prevailed 67-64, fans appreciated the Bulldogs' performance.
I think Butler performed really well. I felt like they tried hard, for all 40 minutes. They really put their heart and soul into it, and I think they had a good shot. And it's really hard to fault them for it, and I don't.
They clearly weren't the better seed, so I think a lot of people weren't expecting them to win, but I think they definitely had their chances.
Butler may not have advanced as far as students had hoped this season, but it will be remembered as a positive one, Sam Topp says.
Everyone wants them wanted them to go further into the tournament, and the longer the season, the better. But overall, I think we definitely did better than a lot of people thought we were going to at the beginning of the season.
While Bulldog fans may be disappointed by the team's elimination, they should take pride in what the team has accomplished this season. For the Butler Beat, I'm Austin Monteith.
Students can watch the remainder of the NCAA championship with a new product. 4 Butler students are receiving national attention for an idea that started in a dorm room. Brianna Manley reports with the details.
Sophomores Cole Dalton, Brian Todd, Adam Polini, and Brian Strawn together are Freelance Foam, thanks to the Real Business Experience class and a single idea.
What if we combine the foam finger with the 3 goggle, which is like the 3-point hand sign that all the basketball players throw up?
The class gives students an opportunity to create a product and put it on the market. Freelance Foam created the foam thringer, but many wonder where the name came from.
Obviously, the original idea with this is the foam finger, just the number 1 sign, so we just adapted it to the foam thringer, so you have 3 instead of 1. Just a cute play off words, I guess.
Freelance Foam has marketed their product in bulk to businesses rather than individual customers. At the end of the semester, the group presented the foam thringer to a funding panel in hopes to continue their business.
And one of our panelists was director of March Madness in the NCAA, and she loved our product so much she walked out with our sample.
After a long wait, the group finalized a deal with the National Collegiate Athletics Association. The 4 members utilized social media, creating a Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook account for their product. However, the students didn't anticipate nearly as much success as they've received.
And one of the anchors, Dave First, actually used it during a segment. So, just seeing how it made it to the local news and someone's giving it publicity like that. And Brian had cousins in Illinois that heard about our product, and it was just weird to think that how much recognition we got just from off a little business idea that started in a dorm room.
Polini says that a successful business is not just about a good product, but rather the people behind it.
I think it was awesome that 4 good friends could come together and make a business, because I think that some people could think of that as maybe a weakness, and we made it our strength. Each of us have our own talents that we were able to use for benefits, and we came out successful.
For the Butler Beat, I'm Brianna Manley.
While the Butler Bulldogs may not be going to the Final Four this year, that isn't stopping Butler students from attending. The Out and About Committee on Program Board gave away 44 tickets to students earlier this week. I caught up with the lucky individuals who will be attending the tournament games over Easter break.
Can I see your ID? Yeah.
Students had 2 opportunities earlier this week to get tickets to watch the Final Four, on Wednesday morning at 7 and Thursday evening at 9. Amadeo Abragina decided to check the Riley Room Tuesday afternoon and was shocked to see people already lined up.
Yes, I actually thought originally I would come here 5 in the morning and make it in time, but they said, oh, you're the 10th person. I was like, okay, might as well stay here for the night.
In fact, students started lining up hours before the ticket giveaway time. The first students who snagged a ticket Wednesday morning came 12 hours earlier at 7 at Tuesday night. Many students camped out in the Riley Room last night, bringing blankets and pillows to stay warm. Some also came prepared with homework and books, yet many did not seem concerned that they had class the next day or that they wouldn't be getting much sleep.
I have 5 classes tomorrow, starting at 9 a.m. and ending at 8 p.m.
Yeah, I'm hoping that I get the ticket more than sleep, to be honest.
Butler students Nicole Heffern and Lauren Renicky were 2 of the many unlucky Butler students that were placed on the wait list.
So we're really upset when we were on the wait list after spending the entire night sleeping on Riley Room floors.
They both received tickets for Monday's game at Thursday's giveaway. Out and About co-chair Whitney Vandenboss said she is excited to bring this event to Butler.
Getting people downtown into the city, I thought it would be just a great opportunity to give students this opportunity that they probably wouldn't be able to afford on their own.
SGA charged students $65 for the tickets as opposed to its expensive prices online. While the price was appealing to students, Abrogina says the experience means much more.
As an exchange student, this is once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Just following basketball since a young age, this is like the peak of pretty much college basketball. And to be here at the time that they're going to host it is just amazing, really.
All tickets have been claimed. For the Butler Beat, I'm Kaylee Ricks.
Basketball isn't the only thing that has Butler students talking. Winter is finally over, but students' pothole problems are just beginning. I did some investigating to see what the university is doing to address this issue.
It's the sound no one wants to hear.
Well, I've definitely been hitting them. My car has been noticing them, no doubt.
And no matter how hard you try to avoid them, potholes just seem to be everywhere on campus.
And she hit a pothole, and pretty much the whole rubber part of the tire came off of the silver part.
Potholes such as this huge one on Hampton plagued drivers for weeks, forcing university officials to place a cone in the center of it. It has since been filled in.
But there are still more to go.
I felt really mad because they don't fix them and they're all over campus.
But those pesky potholes aren't totally Butler's responsibility. Executive Director of Facilities Rich Michael explained in an email that though roads like Hampton and Clarendon affect campus, Butler doesn't maintain them. That's the job of Indy's Department of Public Works. However, the university is currently working with the department to address some of the worst potholes on campus.
They just got them fixed on Clarendon, actually. It took like 2 hours, and now I feel a lot more comfortable driving.
If you'd like to see continued improvements on nearby streets, Jerry Carlson has a solution. He's the Director of Grounds and Maintenance Services at Butler. Carlson pointed me to Indy.gov, which continuously updates a pothole map and provides a form to report sinkhole issues. For the Butler Beat, I'm Evie Schultz.
Potholes are not the only thing being fixed around Butler's campus. Construction along Sunset Avenue continued this past week. Whitney Simmons has more about what people are saying about this construction.
Road constructions and street closures has made driving through Butler's campus difficult. Since the beginning of the school year, construction on the Sunset Avenue streetscape has made this road a one-way street. Some people feel that this construction has become a disturbance to the flow of traffic around campus.
I think the road construction has become a huge hassle on campus solely because We have commuters coming in every day. We have people visiting every day. We have workers coming in every day. And with the new delays and the new shutdowns on the roads, like, you can't get through campus easily.
Butler and the city of Indianapolis are working together to create this new streetscape. The goal is to widen the street to create bike lanes, add in a median, and provide more street lamps. This project, along with many others, is part of the Butler's 2020 vision. While students are not opposed to this idea, some do not agree with the timing of the project.
I think they could have started it after graduation, after school was finished, because it seems really inconvenient to be able to go down one way but not the other.
I think it's necessary for what they're trying to accomplish on campus. I just think that the way they went about it was a little too soon, trying to do 3 things at once and making it more of a hassle than it should be.
According to Butler Police, Sunset Avenue should be reopened by the end of April. For the Butler Beat, I'm Whitney Simmons.
As March slowly ticks by, many seniors are starting to realize that graduation is right around the corner. Last Thursday, all soon-to-be graduates picked up their graduation necessities at the grad finale. They were able to purchase their tickets, cap and gown, and update Butler on their future plans. Seniors Andres Pena and Jack Murphy say being a senior hasn't quite hit them yet.
After you pick up your cap and gown, you get to receive a letter from yourself that you wrote freshman year during Welcome Week. And I thought that was like a really neat kind of detail that I wasn't expecting at all.
Yeah, it was made it really, really real for me, picking that stuff up, like, wow, this is actually going to happen.
After graduation, students will have to leave the Butler bubble that they've been accustomed to for these last 4 to 6 years. The commencement ceremony will take place on Saturday, May 9th in Hinkle Fieldhouse.
While most graduating seniors are preparing themselves for the real world, there is something else they also need to pay attention to. Morgan Legal has the details.
Butler requires students to have 8 Butler cultural requirements before they graduate. Recently, there has been some talk about whether or not the BCR should be required here. Dr. James McGrath says these credits are much needed for Butler students.
A university education is about becoming broadly educated, because that's been found not just by graduates but also by employers to prepare students to cope with the unexpected, to learn and adapt to a changing work environment, to be creative in ways that you can't know in advance before you graduate you need to be.
McGrath also wrote a blog post reflecting this idea, which was turned into an article by the Butler Collegian. Senior Sarah Gray says that her BCR credits were easy to obtain.
When I was a freshman, I was a dance major, and the JCFA required 10 performance credits, which helped me get the 8 BCR credits.
Those seniors, unlike Grace, who have very little or no BCR credits, there are 55 events that count as BCR credit coming up, most of them being free. McGrath says to take advantage of these events now, because once you graduate, you will have less time and resources to go to similar things.
The other reason is that if you've come to a university, really you should have the intellectual curiosity that you want to learn about more than just your major. You want to take the opportunity to attend concerts that in the future you're going to need to pay for, to hear speakers that may not be coming to where you are, depending on where you end up working.
For the Butler Beat, I'm Morgan Legal.
Some students have blisters on their feet from walking in heels over the weekend, raising awareness about domestic violence. Emma Edick participated in Walk a Mile in her shoes to get the story.
On Saturday morning, Alpha Chi Omega hosted the annual Walk a Mile in Her Shoes event. Both men and women walked 1 mile in high heels to take a stand against domestic violence.
This is the first time I've ever worn heels. It's rough. It is a rough experience. I'm kind of getting used to it, but when I first put them on, I was just like, what the heck? Why do people do this?
Courtney Hittapole says that the event is a great way for campus to come together and get involved.
So Walk a Mile in Her Shoes is a really fun and standout way for others to learn about domestic violence awareness. I think it's a really great way for our campus to come out and not only learn more about the issue, but also take a stand and participate.
After registering and grabbing a bite to eat, students started on their 1 mile trek across campus. There was definitely no shortage of motivation along the way. For one student, it went better than he expected.
So like the first 3/4 of it were just painful. And then
like the last quarter of it, I kind of found a surge and I started running for some reason. So it went well.
All proceeds benefit the Julian Center, which is the largest domestic violence emergency shelter and family justice center in the state. On the day of the event, around $300 was raised through participant donations. On top of all of the money raised online and through virtual walkers, around $1,000 will be given to the Julian Center. A representative from the Julian Center also spoke. He says that events like Walk a Mile help the organization continue to serve the community.
Because right now there are 100 people sleeping in our shelter who are safe because of events like this that help raise the money to keep our doors open. And there are thousands more that we serve in the community who don't live in our shelter.
April is National Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Look for more events on campus surrounding the issue. For the Butler Beat, I'm Emma Edick.
If you didn't get the opportunity to walk at Alpha Chi's event, there's another chance this weekend. Hundreds of students will flood to the HRC for this year's Relay for Life event. Before that, however, the Relay exec team is making the final push to increase awareness over the coming days. Mike Murtaugh has the story.
Students may notice a new color standing out on campus as Relay for Life begins their Paint the Campus Purple Week in preparation for Saturday's event. Senior Lynn Zaharelis, who also serves on Relay's exec team, has her own special reason to be excited for this week.
I actually am a survivor. I'm coming up on 12 years in remission this June.
A group of volunteers gathered on Monday to kick things off by setting up signs and tying purple ribbons around trees in the campus mall. Junior Relay for Life President Dan Przybylski says that in addition to volunteers, the team is expecting a much larger turnout on Saturday at the HRC.
Yeah, so right now we have probably about 290 people, and we're probably expecting close to 350 by the end of the week to sign up, and maybe close to 400 if we're lucky at the day of the event.
As of today, 46 teams of participants have raised over $29,000. Zaharelis says that as a leukemia survivor, she will have a hard time controlling her emotions if they meet their goal of $60,000 this weekend.
I feel like I'm really excited to just see that 60,000 met. I'm excited, and I'm gonna honestly probably cry like crazy if we meet it, because it's just to see all our work pay off. That would be awesome.
In the coming days, students will be able to see luminarias lining the sidewalks to build awareness for the Relay team. As for the actual event itself, Junior and Relay exec member Nate Clannon says he can't wait to see their plan come into action.
I've been working really hard with Dan and Lynn and the whole exec team just to make sure that everything's running smoothly. We have all the DJ and all the events planned to go on throughout the night, and just make sure that our event this year is a huge success.
Przybylski says he has his own reason to be excited for Saturday.
I'm actually really excited. My mom's coming down on Saturday to come support me. She's a 2-time breast cancer survivor, and she's been a hell of a survivor.
For the Butler Beat, I'm Mike Murtaugh.
Relay for Life will take place this Saturday at the HRC beginning at 6 p.m. For more information, you can visit the link below.
Have you ever thought about becoming a blogger but don't know where to begin? Butler faculty member Dr. Aaron Albert hosted a discussion to give students the basics when it comes to blogging.
Staff Assembly's Personal and Professional Development Subcommittee joins Butler faculty member Dr. Aaron Albert to teach the Butler community about blogging. Entitled Blogging, Bring on the Basics, Dr. Albert's informal discussion guides others through creating a tactful and effective online presence.
So employers now are looking at online presence as much, if not more, than your own resume at this point. So having a strong brand of your presence online is just as important, if not more important, than your actual resume.
Dr. Albert has had her own blog and website for years now, blogging about things like law, pharmacy, and her everyday life. She teaches students and staff members how to properly use social media sites such as Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn, as well as other common blogging sites like WordPress, as great ways to get your voice and personal interests heard online.
I would like to blog about health and wellness, so kind of incorporating fitness tips, healthy recipes, and just hot topics in healthcare, kind of tie it into my future career as a pharmacist.
Those who attended Blogging, Bring on the Basics learned that the most important rule of blogging is to be consistent with posting and to be authentic. This event is just one of Staff Assembly's Personal and Professional Development Subcommittee's Brown Bag Lunch and Learn discussions. For the Butler Beat, I'm Kelsey Ralph.
That's it for this week's Butler Beat. I'm Evie Schultz.
And I'm Kaylee Ricks. See you next week, Bulldogs.